6 hidden morning habits that age you faster after 70, and how to fix them. Well, hello there, friends. Good to see you all, whether you've been around or you're just dropping in. I'm 90 now, and I've seen a few mornings of my time. Let me tell you, I love chatting with you folks in your 60s and 70s because I've been where you are, and I've learned a thing or two about keeping these later years bright. Today, I got something special to share. 6 hidden morning habits that age you faster after 70 and how to fix them. Picture this. Have you ever rolled out of bed, caught your reflection, and thought, Lordy, when did I start feeling this old? Maybe your knees groan like an old porch swing, or you're tuckered out even after a full night's rest. I know that feeling. I was there back in my 70s, wondering why I felt more like 170. So I started asking folks my age who still had a bounce in their step, and I poked into what the experts say. What I found woke me right up. There are little things we do every morning, stuff we don't even notice, that pile on a years faster than a stack of pancakes at church breakfast. Now, I'm not here to fuss at you or tell you to change everything. I've lived long enough to know life's too short for that. I just want to pass on what I've picked up over 9 decades. These 6 morning habits were tripping me up back then, but I figured out some easy fixes to feel sprier and happier each day. It's not just old-timer talk. It's backed by science and the tricks I've seen work for folks like us. Whether you're 65 or pushing 75, these can give you a little lift and start your day right. So, grab a comfy spot, maybe with your coffee or water since we're talking smart starts. And let's chew over these 6 morning habits that might be aging you faster after 70 and what I learned to do instead. Stick around to the end. I've got simple ideas that made a world of difference for me. Here we go. All right, let's dive in. These 6 morning habits that were wearing me down back in my 70s and how I turned them around. I'll tell it like we're sitting around the kitchen table swapping tales. 1. Skipping breakfast. You're starving your body's energy. First off, skipping breakfast. Back in my 70s, I'd think, oh, I'm not hungry. I'll just sip my coffee and go. My friend Margaret, she's 72 now, still hauling hymnals at church. Did that too. She told me. I figured I'd slim down, but I'd be so foggy I'd forget half the verses to Amazing Grace. Here's what I learned the hard way. When you skip breakfast, you're leaving your body high and dry after a night's sleep. It's like trying to crank an old Ford with no gas. You just sputter. At our age, our engines slow down, and we need that fuel to keep our muscles from fading and our heads clear. I read once, the American Heart Association, I think, that a good breakfast cuts your chances of heart trouble and keeps your mind sharp. I was missing that, and I felt every bit of it. What I started doing. A little something simple, oatmeal with berries, or toast with avocado. Nothing big. Margaret switched to yogurt and fruit, and she says, I've got the pep to sing to the whole service now. Just aim for protein and fiber. It keeps you humming. Back in 85, I tried this before a fishing trip. Caught a big bass instead of napping on the dock. It's a small trick to feel younger all day. 2. Drinking coffee first thing. You're dehydrating yourself. Next up, hitting the coffee pot first thing. Oh, I live for that brew. Straight out of bed, no delay. My neighbor Tom, he's 74, still smacking tennis balls, did the same. He said, I'd be so creaky on the court I'd miss every serve. Then I tried water first, and I'm back in the game. Here's the scoop. Coffee's a treat, but it dries you out, especially after sleeping all night when you're already parched. For us old folks, that means dragging along, stiff as a board, with skin like an old leather boot. I found out hydration keeps your joints loose and your energy up. I wish I'd known that in my 70s when I could barely lift my grandkids. Tom's knees used to crack like popcorn. Now he's chasing winners. What I do now, a glass of water first, sometimes with a lemon slice for a little zip. Tom keeps water by his bed and drinks it right off. Then we enjoy our coffee. In 92, I started this before a long walk with my dog. No more hobbling halfway. It cuts that morning rust and keeps you fresher. 3. Staying in bed too long. You're missing out on movement. Third one. Lazing in bed too long after waking up. Those extra minutes under the quilt were my heaven. My friend Susan, she's 68. still tending her roses, told me. I'd linger, but my back would ache so bad I couldn't prune a single bush. Here's why it bogged me down. Staying put locks up your body when it needs to stretch out. At our age, moving keeps us limber and awake. Otherwise, you're groggy as a bear in winter. The National Institute on Aging says a little morning wiggle stops falls and keeps you steady. Back in my 70s, I'd stay in bed and feel like a sack of potatoes all day till I changed it. What I did, I get up within 10 to 15 minutes and move, stretches, or shuffle to the porch. Susan does a 5-minute stretch and says, I'm pruning roses without a whimper now. One morning in '88, I tried this before a family picnic. Dance with my granddaughter instead of sitting it out. It wakes you up and keeps you young. You linger too much? Drop me a note below. I'd love to hear. 4. Checking your phone right away. You're stressing your brain. Now, number 4, grabbing that phone first thing. In my later 70 seconds, I'd scroll the news before my coffee was cold. My buddy Robert, he's 76, still painting barns and sunsets, said, I'd check my phone and get so rattled I'd spill paint all over the floor. Here's what I figured out. That phone dumps stress on you. Headlines, emails, before you're even awake. It pumps up cortisol, that stress stuff that ages you fast. For us, it muddles our memory and saps our spark. Some health folks said starting stress throws your whole day off. Robert's shaky brushes showed me. Morning shouldn't feel like a storm. What I do now, no screens for 30 minutes. Just sip water, stretch, or listen to quiet. Robert sits by his window with the birds, and he's painting like Picasso again. Back in '95, I tried this before a card game with friends. 1 3 hands instead of fretting. It calms you down and keeps you younger. 5. Eating sugary breakfast foods. You're spiking your blood sugar. 5th one, going for sugary stuff like donuts or juice. My niece Carol, she's 70, still bending in yoga. Love her pastries. She said, I thought it was my treat, but I crashed so hard I dozed through my soap operas. Here's the trouble. Sugar zooms your blood sugar up, then drops it, leaving you pooped. At our age, we don't bounce back from that. It stirs up inflammation that ages you inside. The American Diabetes Association says steady blood sugar keeps you going strong. Carol's naps were proof. She was running on fumes. What I switched to? Something solid. Eggs with veggies or yoga with berries. Carol does an omelet now and says, I'm awake for days of our lives and feeling spry. In '87, I tried this before a church bake sale. Soul pies all morning instead of yawning. It dodges a slump and keeps aging slow. 6. Rushing through your morning. You're missing mindfulness. Last one, rushing around like a headless chicken. I'd zip through, half ready and frazzled. My friend Linda, she's 72, still knitting scarves, said, I'd hurry so much I'd drop my needles and grumble at the cat. Here's why it wore me out. Rushing spikes your stress, and that ages you quick, body and mind. It skips the calm we need to stay sharp. Some studies said a slow start cuts stress and keeps your head clear. Linda's grumbling mornings were dragging her down till she slowed up. What I do now, take it easy, eat slow, breathe deep, maybe jot down a thankful thought. Linda sips tea and plans her day, saying, I'm knitting with a smile now. In '93, I tried this before grandkid's birthday. Enjoyed the cake instead of fretting. It's a little gift that keeps you young inside. So there you have it, friends. 6 morning habits that were aging me faster back in my 70s. Skipping breakfast, coffee first. Staying in bed, phone fussing, sugary junk, and rushing around. But I turn it around with good breakfast. Water first, moving early, no screens, solid eats, and slowing down. It's kept me ticking at 90, and it can make you feel younger, stronger, and happier every day. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a bit more zip, less creak, and a lighter heart. Like you've rolled back a few years. That's what this did for me. Aging's not about giving up. It's about tweaking things so we can keep fishing, gardening, or just sipping tea in peace. What about you? Which one are you going to try? Maybe you'll skip the donuts like Carol, or ease up like Linda. Tell me below. Got your own trick from your 60s or 70s? Share it. I'd love to hear. If this rang true, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're sticking around, and hit that bell for more yarns. Pass it to a pal. It might perk them up too. We're all in this together, and at 90, I'm telling you, you've still got plenty of good days ahead. Take care, you're worth it. See you soon.